Hello, my name is Cooper Saunders, and today I'm going to show you how you can start and grow a new law firm to 7 figures and beyond in less than 2 years. I've done it for about 50 new law firms, and I've had a handful of clients reach out and say, hey, you've got to make more content on this because it's kind of just lucky we found you, and we're so thankful we did. We wrote a book with a co-author of Miller Leonard, and he started 2 law firms, and he kind of saw the same issue. And so I want to create this presentation and just show you. I've owned my company for about 10 years, and I've been working with lawyers for about 10 years now, and we've learned basically everything you need to know, what works, what doesn't work, and I'm excited to share this presentation with you. So a little bit about me. This is the part where I don't love, but hey, they say it's essential to build a social proof, right? Which I'll hit on a little bit later, and how you can use it for your law firm and gaining clients. So I'm owner of WiseGuys Digital Marketing. I started about 10 years ago. Keynote speaker, actually, this is a photo of me speaking to about, I think it was about 200 attorneys, and you can see in my hands I'm kind of stressed there. Public speaking. I'm better at it now, but you know how it goes. And a 5-time National Bestselling Author. Again, I'm really big on providing value up front and showing people, hey, I know what I'm talking about. You don't necessarily want to do it, but you want to know how it works, and that's what I'm doing here. So, when you Google me, this is what comes up. I'm talking about Google as that same group of attorneys. We've got 133 now 5-star reviews, and this is the second book I wrote. You got to start a law firm, now grow your law firm. But again, this is really the only presentation you'll need to grow your law firm. And again, LinkedIn posts, I always say, if people are singing your praises on a place like LinkedIn, you really know what you're doing, right? And so I think that this is important for you to see. If you want to pause and read these, those are important. Now, this is a case study, and I've got 3 here of law firms we've started recently. So Best Interest Family Law Firm, he's making at least $85,000 a month in revenue in less than a year, right? So he'll be a 7-figure firm once like a yearly cycle comes up, right? And in this present, in terms of like, okay, what would I do if I was my law firm? Kind of just walk through it that way. I'm not the most amazing presentator at giving presentations, however you put that, but I want to make sure that the value is there. Carroll Law Firm, again, these are all references that if you want to see what it's like working with me, they'd be happy to talk to you. 85,000, 93,000. And really the main goal for me is for you to say, okay, Cooper, I want to work with you and have you just take care of all of this, right? Because our pricing is based on where you're at. So new law firms, the pricing is way different than, if you've got a $2 million law firm, right? And we're month to month. I always say, we want you to stay with us. We're hoping to work with you for 10, 15 years. And so we want you to stay because we're doing a good job. You're making money off us. Our main goal is if you give us $1, we want to give you $10 back, and that's the best way. And so all of these clients, we've got a ton of law firm clients that really like that in terms of, okay, I'm a business owner. I understand, okay, I could love the person. I could think they're the best, but if they're not making me money and it doesn't make sense for my company, it's just not going to work. So let's jump in and cover what works. Okay, so for every single form of marketing we've ever done, right? We've done everything for attorneys. This is the single most effective way to bring in clients for your law firm. It's just to get in front of people who are already looking for what your law firm provides. They already have a headache and they need Advil, and you're placed right in front of them. You don't have to convince them that they have a problem, right? And that's the issue with a lot of the marketing. And that's the hardest part of marketing, is convincing someone they have a problem and you can fulfill that solution, right? Whether they don't know they have a problem, or you're trying to create a problem, right? Well, if you place yourself in front of these people, the only question is, how do you do this and how do you do it correctly? You've got SEO, you've got Google Ads. Well, if you go about it the right way, and you're really going to do an amazing job very, very quickly. So this is Best Interest Family Law Firm. He ranks number 1 in Littleton for family law firm, family divorce attorney. It's an incognito window, and you can do it yourself. Just make sure that the results are for Littleton. I've had people search and they're like, "This is not number 1." And I'm like, "Well, your results are in Dallas." So make sure it's there in an incognito, so there's no previous data of it seeing me going there, anything like that. So in the last 5 years, we've helped over 50 new law firms launch, and 0 have gone out of business. So if you look at the statistics of new businesses in the United States where I'm at, that's a an amazing, statement. And I think that it shows, okay, first things first, we can get business in the door. And second, we can help guide you, whether, you're like, okay, I need to hire someone new. We've got tools and people that we can say, okay, this is where you're at in the process. Again, we've done this so many times where I know where your issues are going to come up when, whenever we generate 50 to 100 leads, you're like, okay, I need an intake person. Okay, I know you're going to say that before you even know you have got that issue. So it's just, I think it's very, very important that you say, okay, you're in good hands and then you're going to be taken care of, right? So how do you create a foundation for your law firm to ensure that it succeeds, right? What is this foundation I'm talking about? How are you going to create your law firm so that you, A, are going to hit 7 figures, and B, in less than 2 years? Because that's a quite bold statement, right? So what we're going to do here, and this is kind of the time to get out your pen and paper, see what's going on. I think I'm going to make a checklist about this. And of course, you can reach out. Again, my main goal is you to know this, but you hire us to just take care of it, right? Is step number 1, identify your area of practice. That's the first thing. What do you want to do? Hopefully it's something you're passionate about. And hopefully it's something that you've done in the past. I'm just giggling because I've got a client that I was like, why are you choosing this area of law? And he's like, well, it makes most money. I'm like, oh, okay. No, if that's a reason, whatever. So hopefully it's something you're passionate about, because at the end of the day, it's something you're going to be doing every day. But again, we're going to hopefully get to the CEO role where you're not practicing law, you're more of a business leader, right? So identify your area of practice. Pretty simple. Location. Now, this is something that a lot of people get wrong, right? So let's say I'm starting a new law firm and I'm in Denver, or I'm in, let's just say, a suburb of Denver. Like, okay, I want to be in Denver because there's a lot of searches, right? I want to, there's a lot of people there. That means there's going to be a lot of business. Well, not so fast. You want to be a shark in a pond rather than a minnow in the ocean, right? It's going to be so hard and difficult for you to gain visibility calls in Denver. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we're looking at how quickly we can get you business and how, I guess, affordable, right? We don't want to be throwing buckets of money at a time. We want to say, okay, I've opened my doors, now I'm getting clients as soon as possible, right? So Denver, we could make it happen, but a city like Littleton is going to be better. Now, why, right? So we perform this market research for our clients. Whenever we're starting a new law firm, we say, okay, you're in Denver. Let's look at these suburbs, right? So in Littleton, there's probably 5 family law firms that we had to compete against. Versus downtown Denver, or Denver in a whole, there's about 50, right? So it's like, okay, there's 1,000 searches, and I believe I've got this keyword research up right now. So again, sorry for bouncing around here, but I would just like to show you. In June, there was 4,940 searches in total. But I always kind of just look at the family law, family practice, attorneys for family law near me. Some of these searches are like court or pro bono and stuff like that. So family law attorneys. So I always kind of round it out at 1,000 here, right? So we've got 1,000. So let me present again. 10% of those. So for example, it's usually higher, right? So if there's 1,000 searches and you're ranking in that top 3 map pack, which almost 90% of the local searches do, and they want to look at your reviews and all that good stuff. That's why Google created the local map pack. If 10% of those convert into leads, which sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but just rough estimate, and you've got a 20% close rate, which is pretty low. Most of our clients have a 30 to 50% close rate. And on an average of $7,000 per average case value, that's $140,000 a month. And if you increase that close rate from 20% to 30%, I mean, it goes up exponentially, right? So you're looking at, we can rank, such as Sammer in Littleton. That was less than a month, right? Because we set up everything correctly. Denver or any other city, and this is market research that we provide for our clients, right? We do this for you because it's such a important thing to get right. You're making $140,000 a month, average case value of $7,000. There's 1,000 searches, 10% of those convert into leads. You got a close rate of 20%. All of a sudden, you're on cue to make 7 figures in a year, and it's been 2 months, right? So that's the key. Now, how do we do this, right? And so you're looking at, okay, you've got Littleton, we've got our location, we've got our practice area. So your family law firm in Littleton, this is the second biggest mistake people make is let's say I'm starting a law firm and it's going to be the Saunders law firm, right? Well, there's two issues with that. One, your target market and people don't know what you do. You could do any kind of law. Okay, what kind of law do I do? You got to explain, oh, what kind of lawyer are you? Oh, I'm this lawyer. Instead, if I do the family law firm or, something like that, here, I'll give an example here in a shortly, but the family law group of Littleton, you're going to have a way better chance to A, people know exactly what you do, and B, Google knows exactly what you do, right? And so whenever you're looking at, here's an example of names, right? Chattanooga Criminal Defense Law Firm, and here's the domain, the Chattanooga Criminal Defense Firm, right? So you've got all these different, let me move this here. You've got all these different names that right out of the gate, they're going to rank. So if you're in Chattanooga Criminal Defense Law Firm, that is available. The domain's available. Do that. I promise you, if you do that name, now this is a client that we've already done, so we've already bought all these domains, everything like that. But if you do something like the Dallas Criminal Defense Law Firm or the Plano Criminal Defense Law Firm, you're going to be that number one ranking attorney. I guarantee it. You can call me up and say, Cooper, I will guarantee in the next 60 days, you'll be that number one spot. I guarantee it, right? So now you've got your name, right? So instead of the Saunders Law Firm, I'm going to choose the Plano Criminal Defense Firm. And I buy the domain and I buy all these other domains that GoDaddy's gonna suggest to me just because, right? They're $9, right? And so that's one of the keys is that, okay, we've got a city, we've got, because we know the city's gonna keep us busy. We know the name of our law firm, right? And the reason why this is so important is because when you have these keywords in your name, you're going to pretty much have people Googling your name, and Google is going to recommend you first. And that's why you see all these people keyword stuffing, right? And so I want to give examples on why this is so important, right? So you've got family law Miami, massively competitive market. You think, okay, the number one person ranking is Miami Family Law Group. And then I click on number 3 and you see this keyword stuff, right? Filler Rodriguez LLP, divorce lawyer, Miami, and family law attorney. Now, if that's not her actual name, I can go in here and suggest an edit and take this off, and Google will either just fix it and take off that, and then her rankings are going to drop, or suspend her, right? So you don't want to just keyword stuff, even though it's super important. Then you got down here, they're doing it as well, right? But if that's your actual name, you've got no issues. And in 70 reviews, 109, I mean, these keyword stuffers. And then if you scroll down, whenever I was looking, there's people just have like Sister Mitchell and West, right? You've got people with 300 reviews that are nowhere to be found because you've got Miami Family Law Group right here, right? And so it's just such an important thing to do. And you don't want to do this because, again, if it's not your actual law firm name, you get suspended, or someone just like me will suggest an edit and boom, you're down. Estate planning law firm, Chicago. You see it again, Chicago estate lawyers. I mean, then there's a person ranking number 2 with 101. 3 has got 200 reviews, right? And that's a huge ranking factor. And I thought this was cool too, because this guy right here, the sponsor, he's probably paying anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, right? And this guy's getting it for virtually free. When you're a local SEO, yeah, you're paying someone like me to get you there, but it's a fraction of what these guys are paying, right? So you're seeing, wow, yeah, this is really important to get the name, the city, and your practice area right. It's huge, right? And if you're in Florida, you want to do a family law or estate planning, right? And the different areas, again, please contact me for this market research, because it is so important for the success of law firm. Now let's look at this, Criminal Defense Dallas. Look who's number 1. Right? I mean, you see it again and again. The more you search, you'll see, oh my gosh, right? Texas Criminal Defense Group, right? I mean, it's you really cannot. Then you got DFW Criminal Lawyers. I mean, these guys are probably generating 100 to 200 calls and leads a month. No, not kidding. Texas Defenders, and then you've got trailer, I probably butchered that, Trialar Law Firm dash Criminal Defense, right? So you see that these are some of the most competitive markets, and the people that set up the foundation correctly are killing it. I mean, they're absolutely killing it. There's people that, this guy's got 10 reviews, and he's smashing a guy that has 199. And amazing. It really is amazing. Who's ever doing this, their Google ads, they're wasting so much money. They're coming up, personal injury of law firms coming up for estate planning keyword search. Terrible. That's something we do as well. But in terms of we handle the Google ads, we don't do this. So okay, so now you've got that. Now you know, okay, what's the plan that Cooper installs? That's it right there. The understanding what practice area, where you want to be, and your name, and identifying the best name. I can get your law firm to 7 figures in less than 2 years, guaranteed. I know I can. I've done it so many times. And so when I'm looking at the branding, it's not as important, but it's still something that, Motorcycle Accident Lawyers St. Louis, this is not even a law firm. I just made it. Casey Car Crash Lawyers, he ranks #1 in Kansas City for Casey Car Crashes. Best Interest Family Law, we've been talking about him for a while, right? Don't overthink it. If you're a family law firm, if you're someone that deals with money, such as estate planning, use like an emerald green. If you're a family law, you can use red or a deep blue, because that just kind of signifies trust. But don't overthink this. Again, not a massive deal. And then professional photos, you want to build personalization. People like working with other people, take photos. And this was slides cracking me up, but these are all some of my clients. And I'm sure if they see this, they're just going to die laughing. Pickard, John Mann, and we helped him launch his firm, him, and not him, but I like the photo of John. I think he looks nice, right? But him as well. And so let's hop on to the part 2, right? Let's create the online assets and your law firm's identity. I hope the first part was very, very, beneficial for you. And I'm excited to break down part 2 shortly. Let's jump in.